190 pounds. 26 inches. Wait, it's only 6 inches bigger now, but I was very conscious because I had been like this before and had lost a bunch of weight and was enjoying my thin self. So I would go in my first parish and just out of seminary, I would go visit and invariably the kindly, woman of the house would put a piece of pie in front of me and I'd say, oh, can't have that. And this went on for a while and things were going okay, but I don't know, just maybe I felt like I was a Yankee and didn't fit into the mountains of North Carolina or something. And my lay leader pulled me aside after, just before Christmas that year. So I was there almost 6 months, and he says, I don't know how to tell you this. He says, but folks around here don't think you like them much. I says, why? He said, well, you won't eat their pie. I learned a lesson that day, that love is more important than the waistline. Unfortunately, that's true of most clergy, but they didn't think I cared about them because their pie wasn't good enough for me. It's funny how little things like that will lead us to believe that somebody really doesn't care about us. And we're all guilty of, neglecting to do those things that let people know we care about them. Paul's writing to the church at Corinth. And if you notice, in this series, mostly we've been in 1 Corinthians and following 12, 13, and 14, which is a kind of an answer to a situation that was going on in Corinth where you would not believe this would happen in church. But folks there were kind of ranking themselves by spiritual gifts. It's like, well, I'm Christian better than you are because I can do this and you can't. And Paul said, wait a minute, because he was Jewish, and he probably said that. He said, you guys got this all wrong. It's like a body. I mean, more people probably look at the head than they do at the feet, but without feet, it doesn't get around real well. So, all this is important. And it's all just for the building up of the church, not for the building up of yourselves. And it goes all through this whole 12th chapter explaining how you shouldn't, let this go to your head, so to speak, and how all these gifts are used in the church. And he says, in the 13th verse, he says, 13th chapter, he says, let me show you a better way. He says, you know what? All of that stuff just doesn't even matter if you don't love. Because if you don't love, helping others becomes a duty and a chore, and they know it. Well, yeah, I'll help him with that thing. Well, excuse me, without love, when we do the things we do, we just become another, civic club. Not that people in civic clubs don't have love. I didn't mean to say that. But I know a lot of lions and stuff in there. So. But there's that element about representing Christ as we go. And having that love in our hearts. Now, Paul's talking about agape love. In Greek there's 3 words for love. You got eros, that's romantic love. Paul's not talking about that. There's philios, that's brotherly love. We get Philadelphia from philios and philanthropy and all those nice Greek words. And Paul's not really talking about that either. He's talking about agape love, which is an overall, all-reaching love for humankind. It's a love that says, I don't have to like what you do, and I don't have to like you necessarily, but I'm going to love you because you're God's creation anyway. That's hard to do sometimes. Anybody ever know anybody that was really hard to love? really doesn't have anything to do with them. Doesn't matter whether we like what they do or we like them, or it doesn't have anything to do with them. It has to do with us. Because the love resides here. It's not conditional. You know, most of those other loves are kind of conditional. You know, brotherly love, you know, that friendship kind of love, we develop with people that have like interests and think like us and look like us usually. Not always, but, you know, they're people we have a connection with. In romantic love, well, you know, it's a different kind of, you know, it's a deeper connection. But and those are often conditional. You know, I'll love you if. But agape love is unconditional. It's God's love. It's God's love flowing through us. Now, some people will want to tell you that God's love is conditional. Okay? You know, if you don't behave properly, if you don't do this or do that, or, you know, hold your head this way, or my dad used to say, hold your mouth right, you know, then God won't love you. Well, I don't know what Bible they've been reading, but the Gospels that I read say that it doesn't matter. You cannot separate yourself from God's love. You cannot love God back, that's your choice. But God will always, no matter what, love you. And like the hound of heaven, pursue you until you love him back. God likes to be loved. I think, you know, maybe second, no, I don't want to get into that. God's needy. I want my creation to love me back. And don't we all? I mean, we want our kids to love us back, don't we? I mean, that'd be horrible if they didn't. And sometimes that happens. And it's horrible when it happens. Paul reminds us that even though we can plug into the Holy Spirit, like we talked about 2 weeks ago, into the power source and rev up our soul, and we receive gifts and talents and skills and abilities from God through various ways. And that's all well and good, but if we don't illuminate ourselves with God's love, then it's all for naught. And it just kind of falls short. You know the difference between doing something with love in your heart and doing something with the grudgings in your heart, the growlings. Do you all do that sometimes? Oh, yeah. I learned that early on because my dad never stops. Does anybody know anybody like that? I mean, you can't make the man sit down. You know, he's doing something all the time, which meant, Ron, go help your dad. I'm reading, Mom. I'm having fun over here. Go help your dad. And I didn't always do that in the best of spirit. And sometimes, you know, I mean, sometimes we do things we don't want to do and we do them grudgingly, and that's probably better than not doing them at all. But how much better to do them with a loving heart? When we help folks in the food pantry, you know, we don't, oh, you want some food? All right. Here, take that egg food. You know, that probably wouldn't go over well. You know, we because we love folks, we treat them with respect and dignity and give them choices and, you know, and do the best we can to help their needs. Nothing worse than a growly old Christian as a witness. Have you ever met any of those? Okay. Yeah, they're around. Paul reminds us to hang on to, you know, those three basics. Trust in God, If you love folks, you can make a lot of mistakes, and it'll be okay. If you don't love folks, you can do everything perfect, and it still won't be right. So, I don't know about you, I don't do everything perfect, so I'd rather love and be able to make a goof once in a while. Hopefully not too often. When the growlies get in your heart, pray. When you find yourself looking at folks and just pray. I have to do it with other drivers on the road. I forget they're people. I forget they're humans behind the wheel. I just, Allow God's love to enter into your heart so that it'll spill out on everybody else. Paul says, look, if you don't do that, it's just not going to work.